This is you, living a day in the life of a Roman slave. You don't have a name anymore. You had one yesterday. Back in your village, your mother used it. Your friends used it. Now, you stand on a wooden platform in the Roman Forum, completely naked, with a sign around your neck that says where you are from and what you can do. A man in a toga squeezes your arm, checking your teeth as if you were a horse. He pays 2,000 sesterces. That's roughly what a Roman soldier earns in an entire year. Congratulations. You just became furniture. Rome doesn't run on marble and speeches, it runs on people like you. At the height of the empire, 1 in 3 people in Italy is a slave. Millions of human beings were classified under Roman law as res mancipi, the same legal category as cattle and farmland. The scholar Varro had a lovely term for it. Instrumentum vocale, a talking tool. That is you now, a hammer that can answer questions. But not all tools get used the same way. Your entire future depends on one question. What does your new master need you to do? Most people watching this are not subscribed to the channel. If you love history, fix that now. It takes 1 second. Also, leave a comment saying where you are watching from. Let's get back to the history deep dive. If you are unlucky, and most are, you end up in a house. You wake before dawn, around 4 in the morning, because your first job is the hypocaust. That is the underfloor heating system. You crawl into a space roughly the size of a coffin and feed wood into the furnace so your master's marble floors are warm when his feet touch them. He does not think about you doing this. He does not think about you at all. Once the house is warm, you help dress him. You drape his toga, which takes about 15 minutes because togas are absurdly complicated. Then you walk his children to school. You clean the villa. You wash the clothes. You cook the meals. You pour wine when guests arrive. When the dinner party ends at midnight, you walk those guests home through dark streets carrying a lit torch so they do not step in anything unpleasant. Then you come back and sleep on a pile of straw in the hallway. No bedroom, no door, just straw. Tomorrow, you do it all again. But here is where it gets interesting. Some slaves do not carry torches. They carry influence. If you happen to be Greek and educated, your master might use you as a teacher for his children, or a physician, or an accountant managing his entire estate. Cicero spent 25,000 denarii a year on his son's education in Athens. The Greek slaves who taught those classes had more intellectual authority than most free Romans in the street. A nomenclator is a slave whose only job is to walk beside his master at parties and whisper the names of every person they meet, so the master never looks forgetful. A pregustator tastes the emperor's food before he eats it, in case it is poisoned. Your daily responsibility is to maybe die before lunch. The Roman Senate once debated making all slaves wear a uniform so citizens could identify them. They dropped the idea. Someone pointed out that if slaves could recognize each other, they would realize how many of them there were. That terrified Rome more than any barbarian army ever could. If you are learning something new, drop a like and please subscribe to the channel. It genuinely helps this channel find more history lovers. If you drew the worst possible hand in Roman slavery, you are not in a house at all. You are underground. Silver mines in Spain, gold mines in Dacia. The air is toxic. The tunnels are barely tall enough to crawl through. You work in chains. The historian Diodorus Siculus described conditions so brutal that slaves begged for death as a relief. Your life expectancy is maybe a few years. Nobody tracks it because nobody cares. You are cheaper to replace than the pickaxe you are swinging. Agricultural slaves do not fare much better. Roman farmers treated their slaves the same way they treated their livestock, with roughly the same compassion they showed the goats. You get 1 tunic per year and a pair of wooden shoes every 2 years. That is your wardrobe. If you are a female slave on one of these estates, you have no protection from your master's desires. None. Roman law does not recognize it. You are property, and property cannot be wronged. But even in this system, there's a crack in the wall. It's called peculium. Technically, everything a slave earns belongs to the master. But Roman custom allowed slaves to set aside a small personal fund. You might earn tips. You might run a side business with your master's permission. A clever slave managing a shop or a merchant vessel could accumulate real money over years, sometimes decades. And if you saved enough, you could buy your own freedom. The ceremony was extraordinary. Your master brings you before a magistrate. A rod touches your head. Your master says the words, "Hunc hominem liberum volo." I wish this man to be free. Then he spins you around and releases you from his hand. That's where the word manumission comes from, sent from the hand. You walk out a Roman citizen, sort of. You can vote, you can own property, you can run a business, but you can never hold high office. Society still sees you as tainted. The poet Horace's father was a freedman. Horace became one of Rome's greatest writers, but he never fully escaped the stigma. Your grandchildren might, you won't. And then there is the arena. Some slaves do not get households, fields, or mines. They get sold to a lanista, the owner of a gladiatorial school. You arrive at the ludus, and everything you were before disappears. You train from dawn until your body gives out. You eat barley and beans, a diet designed to build a layer of fat that protects your organs from shallow sword cuts. Your trainer is often a former gladiator himself, and he will beat you until technique becomes reflex. If you survive 3 years, you could earn your freedom. Most do not survive 3 months. But if you win, if you keep winning, something strange happens. The crowd learns your name. The name Rome took from you. The arena gives back. Spartacus was a gladiatorial slave. He led the largest slave revolt in Roman history. 70,000 escaped slaves defeated Roman legions in open battle. For 2 years, Rome trembled. It took Crassus and 8 legions to end it. 6,000 captured slaves were crucified along the Appian Way, their bodies lining the road from Capua to Rome. 120 miles of crosses, Rome's way of saying, "We do not forget." But the empire kept turning. The slaves kept working. The mines kept digging. The togas kept needing folding. Somewhere in Gaul, another village is burning. Another line of captives is being marched south. Another child is being placed on a platform in the Forum, blinking in the sunlight, wearing a sign around their neck. Rome called itself civilization. It built roads and aqueducts and the greatest legal system the ancient world had ever seen. And it built all of it on the backs of people it classified as talking tools. If you found this fascinating, hit the subscribe button for more stories like this.